Good morning. Let me acknowledge some of our special guests who are here today, and then you'll hear from some of my colleagues. I want to thank on my team, Commissioner Basil Sagos, Commissioner of DEC, and Commissioner Rowan DeStito, Commissioner of Office of General Services. Senator Ritchie is with us. I want to thank her very much. Assemblyman Mark Walczak. We have Jefferson County Chair Scott Gray, who is with us, Ruth Shepard, who is with us. I want to thank them very much, and I want to thank Lynn Johnson, who has been pioneering a regional dredging project that makes a lot of sense. We have Molly Riley from my team, who's been running this project, and Simonita Sabotic, and I want to thank them very much for their work. Why are we out here in February? This is a true commitment to be here because we have a serious situation that has been developing for a number of years, and we said we would be on top of it, and we are on top of it, and that's the ongoing problem of high water level in Lake Ontario. I'd like to say it's a new problem. It's not. We've lived with it for several years now. This year, the lake is even higher than it was last year, which is troubling news. The IJC, which is the organization that is charged with monitoring the level of the lake and managing the level of the lake, says it's not an outflow problem, it's an inflow problem. I still don't understand that. To me, inflow and outflow are directly related. And the IJC's position is, well, it's not that we're not letting out enough water, it's that too much water is coming in. We have had an ongoing disagreement with the IJC. If more water is coming in, then I say to the IJC, you should have been letting out more water. If you have an inflow problem, then you adjust it on the outflow. This has been going on for several years. We're actually in court suing the IJC, which was not a step that I wanted to take, but they had refused to do anything for several years. The IJC's slim read of hope is that the increased inflow this year is because of high level of rain, and we don't have the high level of snow, so there will be less of a snow melt. And therefore there may not be the kind of flooding we've seen before. But New York is not waiting. We're not going to trust the IJC. We're not going to trust the federal government. We're not going to wait for Mother Nature to change. We're taking our fate and our destiny into our own hands, and we're acting. We announced an unprecedented $300 million program called REDI, R-E-D-I, which is the Resiliency Economic Development Initiative, and it is what the name says. Be more resilient, and let's adjust our economics to this new reality. The $300 million has funded projects all along the shoreline of Lake Ontario, in Cayuga and Oswego, 31 projects, a total of $43 million. We just finished the Mexico Point Park stabilization, so that park, which is a great tourism destination, will be fully operational. And part of what we're doing is a regional dredging operation, $15 million for regional dredging, 20 locations all along the shoreline. 8 counties are on the Ontario shore. Every county has certain dredging operations. It goes from St. Lawrence to Niagara County. What the dredging does is it increases the access and capacity of creeks, inlets, etc., and it uses the dredging material in this situation to increase a barrier to keep the high water from affecting the shoreline. So dredging for access, creating a shoreline barrier that is higher than before, that will be a buffer against the higher level of the lake. We're also funding $30 billion in business improvement and resiliency. Keeping the economy running and making the economy stronger has been very important to us. This part of the state, tourism is a very big economic driver. We don't want the lake flooding in any way to impact the tourism. We've actually done a good job on that. The economic numbers, the tourism numbers were up and very strong last year. The state did additional tourism advertising. We did lower fees for state parks. We did additional free fishing license days to increase that tourism, and that worked. But we now want to help these businesses repair from any damage done and make themselves more resilient going into the future. We also have a $20 million home ownership assistance program for homeowners that were damaged by the storm. But the bottom line is, this is what they call a new normal. It's happened for several years. We don't think it's going to stop, so let's adjust to the new reality. And let's do it by taking action, and that's exactly what we're doing. We didn't just announce another government program. It is happening. It is happening now. It's happening today, right here. It will be happening in all these dredging locations. Let's make this transition to the new normal as quickly as possible. Let's get these businesses rebuilt. Let's make them more resilient. Let's make them stronger. Let's make them more economically viable than ever before to keep that economic engine running, and let's adjust to this reality. We'll stay on the IJC. We'll do everything we have to do, but in the meantime, let's take action and make sure that we're ready for what Mother Nature has brought us, and that it's going to work for the homeowners and the businesses along Lake Ontario. I want to thank all my colleagues for braving the cold today, and with that, let me turn it over to my colleague, Senator Patty Ritchie.
I represent 150 miles of shoreline in Jefferson in St. Lawrence County. I have visited and seen the devastation across the district that I represent. I've stood with many of my constituents, whether they be business owners or private landowners, and many have cried explaining what's happened to their property. So it was really important for me to be here, first and foremost, to thank the governor. Immediately when we reached out to the governor, he was here. I want to start off by just saying, Governor, thank you for listening to us, and thank you for caring about the people that we represent. Thank you for caring about our region. In 2017, I know, like many, thought the water was going to recede in a couple days, and it didn't happen. So my colleagues and I, we reached out immediately to the governor. He sent out his staff. He was there every step of the way, pledging his support, doing everything within his power and the state's power to help us. In 2019, when the water was high again, the governor took the lead immediately by calling my colleagues to a meeting in Albany, laying out a plan, part of which was this READY Commission and the dredging that we see behind us. So this is, I think, an example of state government at its best. When we needed the help of the governor and the state, they were there for us. Commissioner Sagos, Commissioner DeStito, they were here. And, you know, this is vitally important to the region that I represent here and the dredging projects along the river. And once again, you know, my main focus here today is to sincerely thank the governor, thank his staff for caring about us, for knowing that we exist, listening to us, and being here when we really needed them.
Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the North Country. Nice hearty morning for you all. Wintry day. As chairman of the Jefferson County Legislature, I've seen firsthand the devastating effects that the Lake Ontario flooding has had on our community. And on behalf of our community, I would like to thank the governor offer him a sincere thank you for his unwavering dedication to addressing this issue and his leadership that resulted in the real work happening here and along the entire shoreline of Lake Ontario in the St. Lawrence River. So thank you very much, Governor. Appreciate it. After the flood devastation of 2019, the Governor Cuomo took swift action in implementing the READY Commission, bringing hope to affecting communities along the St. Lawrence River and along Lake Ontario. With the support of the Governor and the READY Commission, we have faith that it will rebuild our communities stronger and more resilient than ever, which is the intention of the program. The approach Governor Cuomo has taken to address the region's dredging needs will ensure recreational boaters have safe and secure places to bring their boats. The dredging projects are especially important to communities and businesses that rely on tourism, income from tourism, and visitors who are attracted to the region along the south shore of Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River. His comprehensive approach to dredging will benefit the region in many ways. The plan will allow the reuse of dredging materials to restore ecosystems and rebuild and benefit habitats and nourish beaches, and that have been severely damaged by the flooding and record-breaking water levels that we have seen in 2017 and again in 2019. Having a safe place to bring a vessel during a storm is extremely important to boaters along Lake Ontario. The dredging projects being implemented as part of the work developed by the READY Commission will give boaters a peace of mind and provide counties a roadmap for the maintaining of these channels in the years to come. It is my pleasure to recognize a few folks that have taken part in this project and that are here with us today. First, I'd like to recognize Roanne DeStito, Commissioner of Office of General Services, Bezo Sagos, Commissioner, Department of Environmental Conservation. Bezo. We also have with us Brian Wallace, and he's owner of BDS Interior Exterior Construction, and they're actually operating the equipment that you see here today and doing the dredging work. And there's Brian right there, and Thomas Hart. He's a principal Hart Environmental Science and Planning and Engineer for the North Sandy Pond Resiliency Project. Thank you for all of your efforts on behalf of all the residents of our communities. We are acutely aware that the economic health of many along the shoreline relies on our tourism industry. Governor Cuomo has recognized that maintaining the condition of the channel and our shorelines is vital to ensuring boaters have access to our region. In the wake of the disaster, Governor Cuomo has given communities along Lake Ontario and the St. Lawrence River renewed opportunity to rebuild and reinvent themselves by rebuilding the shoreline. These projects will strengthen our economies and enhance the quality of life for our residents. Governor Cuomo's READY Commission has been a testament to his commitment to Northern New York, to the New Yorkers and the living in this region that are affected by the high waters. He has dug his feet in. When the lake levels started to rise, it is clear that he intends to see this to completion. And as the governor often refers to, I think, constructive impatience. Very appropriately so. Time is of the essence to get this work done and to continue to rebuild and address the new normal. The shoreline communities would like to applaud his effort during this devastating ordeal, and we cannot thank him enough for his attention and for him being here today on this nice wintry day. It is a good North Country day.
It is a beauty.
So thank you very much, Governor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, if my colleagues would join me here, we'll take any questions. The doctrine of constructive impatience is government is not just supposed to talk about what it wants to do. It's supposed to actually do it and do it quickly. And I applaud the senator and the assemblyman and all my colleagues in local government. It's happening. It's happening now. It's happening quickly. And a situation where you needed government help and it actually stepped up and it worked quickly. This is a great demonstration of it. And I want to thank them because they made it happen.